The Redmi 5. Xiaomi is launching this phone in India later today. Now, since we've already unboxed, reviewed, and even given this phone away here on C4 eTech, we decided to put together a kind of highlight package, a small 8 things you need to know about the Redmi 5 video, in case you missed all our coverage. Hey guys, Ash here from C4 eTech, and before we begin, if you do end up liking this video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications, and if you've not checked out our latest giveaway yet, here's a card. Let's now get started. Number 1, let's start with the naming. Well, Xiaomi's messed around with the Chinese and Indian nomenclature, like for example, the Redmi 5 Plus in China is sold as the Redmi Note 5 in India, again with the Redmi Note 5A and the Y1 Lite. There are no such confusions with the Redmi 5. If you've read something about the Redmi 5 somewhere in the past, don't worry, this is the same Redmi 5 that launched in China. Now, talking about the Redmi Note 5, the Redmi 5 looks quite similar to it. It looks like a shrunken down Redmi Note 5, and given that the Redmi Note 5, like I said, is a Redmi 5 Plus, this was to be expected. Confused? I'm not gonna get into naming again in this video, so my apologies. It is worth noting that there is one difference here. There is only a single LED flash on the Redmi 5. The Redmi Note 5 comes with a dual LED flash. The build quality though is similarly good. Xiaomi's done a great job bringing a fresh build to the budget segment. And that brings us to number 3. The reason why the Redmi 5's build looks fresh. The back is kind of similar to what we've seen in the past. So what makes it fresh is the USP of this phone, the unique selling point, the display. The Redmi 5 sports a 5.7-inch 18:9 IPS LCD panel. The pixel resolution is 1440 by 720, commonly called HD+. Now that spread across 5.7 inches of screen real estate results in a pixel density of about 280 pixels per inch. It's not the sharpest, but for the segment, it definitely is passable. The viewing angles are good, the panel appears reasonably bright, with Xiaomi stating that it can go up to 450 nits. Number 4, let's talk specs. Underneath the hood, the Redmi 5 is powered by the Snapdragon 450 chip. This chip offers 25% better CPU and GPU performance over the Snapdragon 435 on the Redmi 4. In fact, the 450 and Xiaomi's favorite Snapdragon 625. The chip that they've used on the Redmi Note 4, Mi A1, the Redmi Note 5, the Mi Max 2, the Mi 5X. Now, that 625 and the 450, they use the same Adreno 506 GPU. And given the lower resolution display on this phone compared to everything else we just mentioned, we did face no issues even with intense games like Asphalt Extreme. The performance was fairly smooth and responsive. Most day-to-day tasks too were carried out quite easily. Apps opened up quick, scrolling through Twitter or Instagram felt reasonably smooth. Even moderately intense tasks like media streaming and photo editing were handled just fine. The fact that the Snapdragon 450 chip is built on the 14nm manufacturing process means it's quite power efficient, and here's where things get a little wonky, on paper at least. Now, on that note, let's get to number 5, battery. Now, the Redmi 4 had a 4100 mAh battery. The Redmi 5 comes with just a 3300 mAh battery. Now, in our testing, though, Sundar did find the battery life to still be excellent. He even got 2-day battery life with his, when his usage wasn't too intense. So while we were quite wary about the battery life going in, Xiaomi seems to have delivered here. The lower capacity battery also meant that despite the larger display, the Redmi 5 weighs in just about the same as its predecessor. Xiaomi is in fact shaved 1mm off the thickness. So number 6, let's move on and talk about camera. 12 megapixels f2.2 1.25 micron sized pixels. If that sounds familiar, this is the same one from the Redmi Note 5 and it performs similarly. It's quite good when the lighting conditions are good, HDR works well, under low light the quality falls, but it's still acceptable for the price. Now here are a few more samples. Selfies via the 5 megapixel front camera were also reasonably good. One thing worth mentioning is thanks to the chip inside, unlike the Redmi Note 5, this one doesn't support 4K videos at 30 FPS. It's capped at 1080p 30 FPS and there's no electronic image stabilization. at least not on the Chinese unit. If anything changes from whatever we've mentioned in this video, we will let you know via the description below, because this video is being shot before the Indian launch. So anything changes, do check the description below or the pinned comment. Anyway, let's now move on to number 7 on the list, software. We've got MIUI 9 running on top of Android 7 Nougat, and that's kind of disappointing. It's been a long time since Oreo has been made available, but we are still seeing phones launching with Nougat. But the Redmi 5 does have Xiaomi's MIUI 9 on top, and that is quite a heavy skin. It's got its own set of tweaks and it performed impressively in our time with it. So as far as software goes, if the Android version is your priority, this might kind of look like a negative, but if features, functionality, and how the phone performs overall, if that's important, then this is a win. And now, talking about wins, number 8, the price. So again, since this video is going live before the launch, we don't have official pricing, Indian official pricing yet, but going by track record and Chinese pricing, we expect the Redmi 5, the price of the Redmi 5 to start at 7,000 to 8,000 rupees. At this price, it should be a decent offering from Xiaomi, but the Redmi Note 5 still does seem to offer better value. So what do you guys think about the Redmi 5? That's it for this quick little video on 8 things you need to know about it. If you want more in-depth information, if you want to check out more of our coverage, here's a card to our Redmi 5 playlist. Do check it out. And if you did hate this video, go ahead, you know what to do. But if you liked it, turn that into a thumbs up. If you found it useful, hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet. But if you have already subscribed, hit that bell icon to make sure you get notified every time a new video goes live here on C4eTech. So that's it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Till next time, this here is Ash. You've been watching C4eTech, and I'm signing off. You guys have a great day. And if you're watching it at night, goodbye and good night.